And welcome everybody to another edition of the GSMC Football Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. As always, I'm your host, Kenneth Gruenfelder, and it's great to have you guys here on this Monday, January 27th. We have a lot to talk about on the show today. Before I get into that, just want to remind you guys, as always, to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to hit that super chat button in the chat if you want to see me acknowledge any thought or comment you may have throughout the live broadcast. It makes the show more lively, more entertaining between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. We appreciate you guys' viewership each and every day, so any contribution you can make to the show means the world to us as we put out content for you guys each and every day. And also, the other way to help out the show is by going to the link at the bottom of the show segment on the ticker, GSMCPodcast.net. That is GSMCPodcast.net. So let's get into what we are going to discuss for today. So we are going to break down the championship games from yesterday. We'll start off by talking about the Chiefs-Bills game. Chiefs winning 32-29. They are now advancing to their third consecutive Super Bowl, so we'll get into that in just a second. We'll also talk about the Eagles and their win over the Washington Commanders, 55-23, so we'll get into that. We'll also talk about some of the coaching hires from over the weekend. We'll talk about the Cowboys hiring their offensive coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer, to be their next head coach. We'll also get into Pete Carroll being named the next head coach for the Raiders. I know we talked a little bit about that on Friday because the news broke as I was doing the show, but we'll devote a whole segment to that. And then we will take an early look at the upcoming Super Bowl matchup between the Chiefs and the Eagles. So let's get into the first topic, which is talking about the AFC Championship game between the Bills and the Chiefs. And this is the one that everybody was hyped up for, and a lot of people were rooting for the Bills to knock off the Chiefs. Was this going to be the year that the Bills would get it done? And unfortunately, like the previous seasons, they came up a little bit short. This was a great game. This was very entertaining. But I know a lot of the focus comes on the officials and some of the calls in the game. But ultimately, this came down to the Chiefs made more plays than the Bills. They did. And, there was a period during this game where, the Chiefs offense was kind of quiet. The Bills were down 21-10. They got a big score before the end of the first half. Josh Allen, a great throw to Matt Collins, who had a good year for them, led the team in touchdown receptions, and that was a big touchdown reception there to narrow the gap. It was 21-16. They went for two, didn't get it. So that was the score at the half. And then they went ahead. They got a touchdown to put themselves up 22-21. And one of the biggest plays from the game was that fourth down. And it looked like Josh Allen picked up the first down, but they ruled him short initially, and then they went and reviewed it, and they upheld the call. Now, to me, I thought he got it. Now, it was really close. It's not like it was definitive. And the other thing, too, is the camera angles. I mean, the camera angles that you saw, you really can't tell. And it's 2025. There should be enough camera angles where you could see whether he got it or not. I mean, I think from the angles we did see it from them, we did that he did get it. But they upheld the call, and the Chiefs got the ball back, and they went down and this is when the Bills were up by 1, and the Chiefs went down the field. They scored a touchdown, and they got the 2-point conversion, so they were up 7. And then the Bills, they answered. It's not like the game was over at that point after the Bills didn't get the first down. The Chiefs went down and scored, and then the Bills went down and scored, and they converted on a 4th and goal. Josh Allen hits Curtis Samuel in the back of the end zone, wide open for the touchdown. They tie the game, and then the Chiefs, they get a field goal to go up by 3. And again, the Bills had a chance to go down the field, tie the game, or even win it. And, you get to 4th and 5, and I thought, the Bills have been pretty good at converting on 4th down. They got the 4th, like I said, the 4th and goal with Curtis Samuel for the touchdown. You thought Josh Allen was going to make a play and extend the drive, and great design blitz by Steve Spagnuolo. They came after Allen. The offensive line was not prepared for it, and Josh Allen had to heave it up. And Dalton Kincaid had a chance to catch the ball, and he didn't. And then the Bills' defense had an opportunity to get a big stop and get the ball back and give Josh Allen yet another chance, but it didn't happen. Now, they almost got a gift because Isaiah Pacheco picked up the first down, and then he went out of bounds. And then the Bills got a couple of stops, and it looked like, okay, maybe they're going to have a shot here. But then they pick up the first down with Samaje Perine. They throw the ball. They get it out to Perine. He picks it up, and that's all she wrote. Again, the Chiefs just made more plays in this game than the Bills did. And again, this was an awesome game, but the Chiefs know how to get it done in these kinds of games. And the Bills just always come up short in these kinds of games. And also, a big thing that happened in this game, Christian Benford, their corner, he got hurt early on in the game, so they had to replace him with Elam, number 5, who you see up in the graphic here. And he had a rough game. They picked on him. You know, there were penalties. He costed the Bills with penalties. It was rough for him. And yeah, Kaiir Elam, and I believe he's a first-round pick out of Florida. This is his 3rd season, but yeah, it was a rough game for him. And yeah, that was an important player for the Bills that you lose on defense. But you know, the Bills got stops at certain points during the game. They, you know, were able to take the lead at one point, but it's just when they really needed to get stops late in this game, they couldn't do it. The Chiefs, they did what they had to do offensively. Patrick Mahomes went 18 of 26 for 245 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. He had 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. One of them he scores, and Travis Kelce was taunting Damar Hamlin because Damar Hamlin was trying to tackle Mahomes, and Mahomes trucked him into the end zone. And Kelce's taunting him. And there was no flag for that. I don't know how Kelce doesn't get a flag on that, but, you know, I mean, he's gotten away with things like that in the past. But Mahomes had 2 rushing touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, I thought that this was one of his best games of the year. I mean, he looked like the Kareem Hunt from, not exactly the Kareem Hunt from 2018, but similar to that. I mean, he's been good for them, but I thought he had a little bit more juice in him in this game. He ran the ball for 64 yards. Mahomes, 43 yards on the ground. Isaiah Pacheco, only 5 carries for 12 yards. He's been kind of disappointing since he's come back from his injury. But I think next year, you know, you're more removed from it. I think he'll be back to his old self. I mean, maybe he'll be back to his old self in the Super Bowl. You know, we got a couple weeks till that. Xavier Worthy, 6 receptions for 85 yards and a touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster had 2 big catches for 60 yards. Marquise Brown, 3 for 35. Kelce, only 2 for 19. DeAndre Hopkins, who will be playing in his first Super Bowl, played in his first conference championship game. He had 1 reception for 11 yards. Chiefs defense, 2 sacks of Josh Allen in this game. The other controversial play was when Mahomes throws it up to Worthy, and it looked like, I mean, it could have been an interception. They ruled it was a, you know, completion of Worthy. But when you look at the replay, I mean, it looks like the ball hits the ground. And, you know, as they're going to the ground, you know, Worthy only has 1 hand on the ball. The Bills' defensive back has 2 hands on it. So I don't really know how they ruled that a completion to Worthy. Because at the end of the play, you know, Worthy has it. But, I mean, I think it should have been ruled incomplete because the ball hits the ground. But they didn't rule it that way. So I think it was, yeah. So it was in the second quarter. It's what led to the Chiefs going up 21-10. It was on 3rd and 5. Mahomes hits Worthy for 26 yards. But well, actually the other thing too is there was defensive holding on the play anyways, so it would have been a first down for the Chiefs. But instead of it being, you know, 1st and goal from the 3, it would have been, you know, 1st and 10 from, you know, the Bills' 24-yard line. So who knows? Maybe the Chiefs don't get a touchdown. Maybe they get 3. But either way, it was a first down for the Chiefs. But the Bills, like I said, they got the Matt Collins touchdown before the end of the half, so they were down by 5. So the game was still in reach, you know. But yeah, so that was another play that was, you know, a little bit questionable there. But the Chiefs did fumble in this game, we talked about, going into these conference championship games, who would blink first. And, the Chiefs did blink. They turned the ball over, and that led to 7 for the Bills. That was a James Cook touchdown, so that made it 10-7, but it didn't matter. Bills didn't turn the ball over. They almost did. There was some fumbles that the Bills, they had 4 fumbles in this game. Ray Davis, Josh Allen had 3, but none of them were lost. None of them led to turnovers, which is impressive. I mean, there was one that was a bobbled snap that they were able to recover. And then Josh Allen picked up a first down, I believe. One of the first downs he picked up, and he fumbled it, but he was able to get back on it. I don't know how he did, and he went 22 of 34 for 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. James Cook had 85 yards on the ground. Actually, another big play in this game it was on 4th and goal from the Kansas City 1. James Cook scored. Was able to. He was off the ground and was able to reach over the goal line for the touchdown. So that was a big play. That put them up 22-21. They went for 2 and didn't get it. So they were 0 for 2 on 2-point conversions for the game. But yeah, he had a good game. James Cook, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. Matt Collins, 3 for 73 and a touchdown. James Cook had 3 for 49. Khalil Shakir, 6 for 46. Amari Cooper, only 4 for 33. Bills defense, 2 sacks of Mahomes in the game. And, yeah, they come up short. I mean, they slightly outgained the Chiefs in total yards. They had 374 to the Chiefs' 368. The Chiefs had 28 first downs to the Bills' 22. Third down efficiency. So the Chiefs were 1 for 1. The Bills were 4 for 6. On third down, the Bills were 5 for 14, and the Chiefs were 5 for 9. So, yeah, that's not good. You got to be better on third down there. But, and the Bills' red zone efficiency, they were 3 for 3. Chiefs were 4 for 6. Look, the Bills played a good game. Josh Allen played a good game, but ultimately, like the previous games, came up a little bit short. And he was very defeated at the end of after the game, his press conference. I mean, he was lost for words. And it's sad because he's a great player, and you would think at some point his time is going to come. But we're in a weird era right now, where it's Patrick Mahomes, and then there's everybody else. That's really what it is. It's Patrick Mahomes, and then there's a huge gap, and then it's everyone else. Now, we'll see what happens in the Super Bowl if the Eagles can knock them off. We'll talk a little bit about the matchup later on in the show, but, it's been a long time since Mahomes has lost a playoff game. And, we'll see what happens in the Super Bowl, but the Bills, 0-4 against the Chiefs in the playoffs in this era, it's unbelievable. And all the games are close. All the games are close. The AFC Championship game from the COVID season, yeah, the Chiefs won by 2 scores, but pretty much every game, the Bills were winning in that game at one point, but it's just every game is close, but the Bills are always on the losing end. When is that going to change? We thought maybe it'd be last year. We thought maybe it was this year. It's just, when? When is it going to happen? Who knows? But Chiefs get the win. They have a chance to now make history and three-peat, and we'll see if they can do that. We will be talking about the Super Bowl a lot over the next couple weeks. So, yeah, but they win 32-29 here. Let me know what you guys think about this game. What were your takeaways from it? Let me know in the comments. So we are going to take our first break of the show. And then when we come back, we will talk about the NFC Championship game between the Commanders and the Eagles. Eagles getting the win there. So we'll talk about that when we come back. So with that being said, stick around. And we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.